All right, today we're going to dive into a really powerful seed soaking method that goes way, way beyond just using plain water. We're going to use a little bit of science to give your plants the absolute best start you can imagine, and it could totally transform your entire harvest.
Okay, I know this might sound a little harsh, but it's such a critical point. If you've ever had seedlings that just seem to struggle or they don't thrive, well, your tap water could actually be the problem. You're losing potential before the first true leaves even show up. So, if plain water isn't cutting it, then what is? Well, the secret is giving seeds these specific signals they are hardwired to look for in nature. Signals that tell them, hey, it's not just wet, it's the perfect time to grow and grow like crazy.
First things first, let's really break down why our standard go-to method is holding our gardens back. It's not that water is bad, of course not. It's only one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
And wow, this chart really lays it all out, doesn't it? With plain water, all you're doing is providing hydration. But with a biosignal soak, you're actively triggering faster, more aggressive root growth. And that leads to stronger, more resilient plants and, yeah, a bigger harvest. It's a totally different ballgame.
So to really get why this works, we need to kind of think from the seed's perspective. And it turns out they are way more sophisticated than we usually give them credit for.
Think about it. Out in nature, a seed doesn't just pop open after a single rain shower. It's waiting for a whole combination of cues. Things like changes in temperature, microbes in the soil, even chemicals from decaying plants. These are the signals that tell the seed to do more than just wake up. They tell it to gear up for survival, to rapidly grow roots and switch on its defenses.
So how in the world do we replicate those natural cues in our own garden? Well, it turns out we can with a simple but incredibly effective three-part solution that you can make right at home. Our first ingredient is a classic secret weapon among gardeners who've been at this for a while: willow water. It's a completely natural rooting hormone that's easy to make, and let me tell you, it is incredibly powerful. And here's the science behind it, which is so cool. Willow is just naturally packed with something called IBA, and that's the exact same active ingredient you find in those commercial rooting powders at the garden center. So by soaking your seeds in this, you're sending a direct, powerful signal to start building a massive root system right away. Now for ingredient number 2, aspirin. Yeah, you heard me right. It might seem strange, but it plays a critical protective role. A single tablet is all you need to basically prime the seed's immune system.
Salicylic acid is a major defense signal in the plant world, so by introducing just a tiny, diluted amount, you're essentially giving the seedling a vaccine. You're switching on its internal defense system against fungal diseases like damping off, which, as you know, is one of the biggest killers of young plants. And for our final ingredient, hydrogen peroxide, we get a fantastic 2-for-1 benefit. It acts as both a sterilizer and a metabolic turbo boost for the seed. This is just brilliant. As the seed is soaking and waking up, it needs oxygen to power its growth. Well, hydrogen peroxide breaks down and releases extra oxygen right where it's needed most. And at the same time, it's cleaning the seed's surface, wiping out any nasty fungal spores that might cause trouble down the line. Okay, now for the fun part, putting it all together. Here is the exact step-by-step recipe to create this awesome seed soak. Now pay close attention to these ratios because getting them right really matters. First, you make your willow water. Then, in separate containers, you create your diluted aspirin and peroxide solutions. The final step is combining them. For every liter of that willow water base, you're going to add 250 milliliters of the aspirin solution and 100 milliliters of the peroxide mix. Stir it up, and it's ready to go.
So, the big question: how long do you let them soak? The key is to match the time to the size of the seed. Little tiny seeds like lettuce or basil, they just need about 8 hours. Medium seeds like your tomatoes and peppers can go for 12. And for those big, tough-coated seeds like beans or corn, give them a full 24-hour soak. Just be careful not to overdo it. So, what does all this science and prep actually get you out in the garden? Let's talk about the real-world impact that you can expect to see. This technique gives you an edge no matter what your setup is. In a regular backyard garden, faster root growth creates a buffer if you forget to water. In raised beds, it helps ensure everything sprouts and grows at the same rate. And for hydroponics, it's a total game changer for reducing that dreaded transplant shock. I absolutely love this quote because it sets the right expectation. This technique doesn't replace good gardening. It makes your good gardening even better.
It takes all that amazing genetic potential that's already inside the seed and just gives it the absolute perfect conditions to fully express itself.
Now for a quick reality check, because this is important. This soak is powerful, but it's not magic. It's not going to fix terrible soil or a lack of sunlight. And I really want to emphasize this. Do not think that more is better. Stick to the recipe exactly, because if you make the solution too strong, you can actually damage your seeds. In the end, it all comes down to this. The foundation of a productive, healthy plant is its root system. By giving your seeds these biochemical signals from day one, you are building a bigger, better engine below the ground to support a much more abundant harvest above it. So, as you're planning your next planting, ask yourself that question. I mean, after all the work you put into your garden, doesn't it just make sense to give your seeds the most powerful start you possibly can?